Hey, this is Stop Stressing and Start Living with me, Dennis Crosby. And today, I'm going to get pretty deep with you. I was listening to an Alan Watts video the other day, and he was quoting some other philosopher whose name I didn't catch. But he said that the fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves is whether to commit suicide or not. Now, bear with me. Because I know that might be a little crazy sounding. But when you think about it, it's true. The fundamental question we have to ask is, are we going to stay in this life or not? And for most, I really hope for 100% of the people listening to this, because otherwise I'm going to feel like shit if I find out otherwise. But for all of us, I feel confident the answer is we're going to stay and we're not committing suicide. So after making that decision, then what's left is to figure out how we make the most of what we have. And that's a pretty deep question. And it kind of sums up life as a whole and what this podcast is about. How are we going to live our life since we're committing to living it? And I don't know if that's a question we ask ourselves enough. Because for me, I decided that I want to live my life by flowing. I want to flow with it. I don't want to resist. I don't want to force. I don't want to be all tightened and stressed out and all day. Like, I want to be... I want the sigh. Some people call Nirvana the great sigh. And it's that release that you feel when you just let it all out and relax. Like, that's how I want to go through life. And I challenge you to really think about, how do you want to go through life? Do you want to be in a state of relaxation? Do you want to be in a state of forcing, to having this idea of how you want to live your life and doing whatever it takes, come hell or high water, to make it happen? Do you want to be somewhere in between? Do you not even want to think about these things? Do you want to go essentially unaware through life? Which, there's a famous quote. One of these days I'm going to learn the people who say the quotes that I say, one day. But there's a famous quote that says, the greatest tragedy is an unexamined life, or something to that extent. But, like, how are you going to go through your life? And I don't know the perfect way. I don't think there is a perfect way, honestly. I think different people are in different paths for the journey that they're on. But I do think that it should be a conscious choice, no matter what you decide. Like, I know people who are happy, who are still in that forcing state, who are all about creating the next thing for themselves. At least they appear happy. I don't know how they feel on the inside. But I also know people who flow, who are also stressed out. Like, there's no perfect way, and there's no, like, rosy picture that works all the time. Like, there's a time and place for everything, yin yang, right? But it should be a choice. And I want you to think about what your choice is. Because, as the quote says, one of the fundamental choices we have to make in life is suicide or life. And if we choose life, which please choose life, let's choose what kind of life we want to live. How do we want to go through this life? And then start aligning ourselves with our decision. Now, my goal of this podcast is to bring you over to the flowing side, because that's my preference, and that's where I've seen the most experience, or the most success, having come back from the forcing side. But wherever you choose, just make a choice. Make a choice and align yourself with it, and don't be in a weird gray area where you don't know, because that will bring more stress than forcing. That'll bring more stress than trying to flow. Like, the gray area is the worst place to be. So make a conscious choice and decide how you're going to go through life. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for spending your time with me. I know time is our most valuable resource. It's the one thing we can't spend more or buy more of. And the fact that you spend it with me is awesome, and I love it, and I thank you, and I appreciate it. So if you like this episode, shoot me a message on my website, DennisCrosby.com. Let me know your thoughts, feedback, comments, whatever. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube, feel free to comment below, and I will respond. All right, take care.